Have you ever looked out the car window to see something crazy on the side of the road? Perhaps you have, but I'd be surprised if it topped some of the bizarre roadside discoveries that I'll be revealing today. So buckle up, get ready for some strangeness, and let's hit the road. Californian werewolf. In 2018, residents of a neighborhood in Madera Ranchos, California, were terrified to spot this werewolf roaming the roadside. The creature was huge in size, but notably skinny and missing clumps of fur, giving its appearance an undeniable similarity to one of folklore's most foreboding beasts. Fearing the creature's daunting appearance, locals understandably steered clear of the creature. That was until a trained vet came to see the beast for herself. She quickly realized that this werewolf was actually a very disheveled German Shepherd mix, suffering from scabies and a broken tail. But thankfully, after months of care, the dog was nursed back to health, hopefully never causing California locals to reach for the silver bullets ever again. Possessed doll. After childhood's over for many people, dolls become nothing more than an unnerving symbol of fear. There's no better proof of this than when this disturbing doll showed up on the side of a busy road in Singapore. Local sources claimed the doll would move on its own and could occasionally be heard speaking in a woman's voice. The doll's original owners allegedly blindfolded the toy so it couldn't find its way back to haunt them. Even creepier, the cloth wrapped around its eyes bore the Arabic phrase Bismillah, meaning in the name of God. Supposedly, such an inscription would dampen the influence of the entity possessing the doll. Of course, whether you believe any of the locals' claims is up to you, but I certainly wouldn't want to spend a night with this thing propped up at the foot of my bed. Creepy mannequins. Late one night, Reddit user New Feature was driving along an empty road when he encountered a stepped car with its hazard lights on. Concerned something was wrong, he pulled over to help. Upon approaching the car, he noticed the silhouettes of two passengers in the back, but when he got closer, he made an unnerving discovery. There was no one in the front of the car, but in the back seat were two mannequins in wigs with faces crudely drawn on in marker pen. Thoroughly spooked by the bizarre encounter, the Redditor hightailed it back to his car and never looked back again. I don't blame him. Three-eyed snake. Some people are terrified of regular snakes. But what about a three-eyed snake? Well, that's exactly what was uncovered on a highway in northern Australia in May 2019. Experts noted that the third eye on top of the snake's head was an incredibly rare mutation, with all three eyes functioning. The strange-looking reptile was nicknamed Monty Python, but I think Seymour would have been a better choice. Witch's Shrine. When one Redditor pulled over to turn around on a woodland road, they made an eerie discovery. On the side of the leafy path were dozens of animal bones and skulls arranged into some sort of strange occult shrine. With a no trespassing sign hung at the bottom of a nearby tree, you can't help wondering what might be found further down the bone-strewn path. Though you wouldn't have to tell me twice not to trespass down there. Bird person. When another Redditor spotted a strange figure at the top of a roadside hill in their hometown, they approached, assuming it would be someone who'd lost their way. As they got closer, however, things became far more ominous. A close look at the figure revealed they weren't dealing with a human at all. Instead, someone had erected some sort of demonic bird woman statue. It bore an eerie black skull covered by a dark wig, fake feathers, and deer hooves for hands. Unsurprisingly, the Redditor didn't hang around the location long after snapping the pictures. After all, the macabre sculptor could still be lurking in the shadows. SNORLAX'S demise. If you've ever watched Pokemon, you'll no doubt be familiar with Snorlax. This gentle giant is the epitome of laid back. All it does is sleep and eat. With that in mind, why in the world would someone rip the head off a giant toy Snorlax? The headless Pokemon was found on a curb in Singapore, where clearly someone is not a fan of tubby pocket monsters blocking their path. Pentagram. An eagle-eyed Redditor discovered this strange metal object on the side of the road in Philadelphia. At first glance, the pentagram-shaped medallion looks like something you'd find in a satanic ritual, but it's actually the logo of a subsection of the Freemasonry organization known as the Order of the Eastern Star. Each of the 5 symbols on the pentagram are meant to resemble religious virtues. The roadside discovery is missing a column, which, sadly, probably means they can't use it to sneak into a Freemason meeting. Roadkill Memorial. When this roadkill raccoon was discovered on the curb, the people of Toronto united in a truly bizarre, darkly hilarious way. With each person adding a little something, people built a shrine for the fallen animal. By the afternoon, the raccoon was surrounded by flowers and a framed photo of a living raccoon, and a Twitter account had even been made. The commemorated mammal was eventually taken away by Animal Services, but people continued to visit the site, leaving candles and tweeting with a personalized hashtag. It was surely the best send-off roadkill has ever had. Pipe bomb. You probably wouldn't bat an eyelid if you saw this on the side of the road. After all, it looks like nothing more than some old litter. But after a civilian with a hunch got in touch with authorities in Chino Valley, Arizona, the roadside discovery turned out to be a pipe bomb. A bomb disposal unit was called in to defuse the bomb, which, luckily, didn't ultimately explode. Had it gone unnoticed, this roadside oddity could have ended in disaster. The bomb seemed to have been there for years before discovery, though whoever put it there and why remains a total mystery. London's UFO. When residents of southwest London spotted a mysterious metallic object on fire that had seemingly crash-landed in the middle of the road, their minds jumped to one thing: UFOs. Indeed, the images of the object do seem to imply the mysterious flying saucer-like object somehow fell from above. But the truth was arguably even stranger. After some investigation, the object was discovered to be a pizza oven. It likely fell off a transport truck, but how it ended up on fire remains a mystery to this day. Maybe aliens really like pizza but can't get the cooking temperature quite right? The truth is out there, and it's covered in pepperoni. NASA roadkill. This next discovery is a little close to an actual UFO. This crashed NASA space capsule has been spotted by drivers in Oklahoma since 2011. But space enthusiasts shouldn't get too excited because this so-called space capsule is actually an old cement mixer. In 1959, a construction vehicle crashed whilst transporting cement to a nearby bridge. The mixer ended up on the side of the road and proved too much effort to move. So there it stayed, until 2011 when local artists decided to turn the eyesore into an attraction. They covered the cement mixer in silver paint and added the details to make the abandoned object look like a NASA space capsule, much to the befuddlement of passers-by. Stellar work. Roadside sea creature. We've all seen sci-fi films featuring bizarre-looking sea creatures, but you never expect to find one on the side of the road, a mile from water, unless you're from Liverpool, England. Liverpudlians were left horrified and confused by this weird-looking, semi-decayed sea creature with razor-sharp teeth found on the roadside over a mile away from the nearest body of water. So how did it get there? Well, some theorize the sea creature is actually a pike that's been carried and eaten by a seagull. Whatever it is, something certainly smells fishy. Businessmen of the night. Imagine driving down the road and coming across this. The creepy, bizarre footage of this suspicious group of men in suits made the rounds on the internet back in 2016. With the sky being lit up by a red explosion and the appearance of a figure in a red devil mask, viewers were quick to conclude that a bizarre occult ritual had been captured. They were, however, completely wrong. The video was actually a promotional teaser for British band Radiohead's 2016 album, A Moon-Shaped Pool, and was directed by Richard Ayoade. Of course, the unsettling clip was perfect urban legend material, being somewhere between the Blair Witch Project and Monty Python. But man, am I glad it's not real. Sleep time. A Texas police officer's night patrol took a turn for the unexpected in 2018, when he happened upon a drunken woman passed out in the middle of the road. The officer helped her off the road to safety while she was still blissfully unaware of the danger she'd put herself in. Investigations revealed her car had been left in a ditch about 200 yards from the road, and the woman was arrested on charges of public intoxication. Still, she's fortunate to be alive in a jail cell rather than a pancake in a coffin. Alien meatball. A Redditor found this slimy object in the middle of the road one rainy night. At first glance, you'd be forgiven for thinking someone had just dropped their chicken breast on the way to make a casserole. But the strange black cracks add to the mystery of this item's origins. However, keen-eyed Redditors soon worked out what it was. In reality, this alien is no more than a silicone push-up bra insert, designed to add cleavage. Apparently abandoned after a night on the town and left to rot, the black lines were simply caused by nature trying to cop a feel. What a pervert. Backwoods scarecrows. Another Redditor was driving through forested backroads when they came across these horrifying figures lurking in the dark. A closer look at the figures reveals that they're actually scarecrows, which makes sense in a farmer's field, but why on the side of a woodland road? And why so creepy? Perhaps those questions are best left unanswered. Wedding night. Of all the creepy things to encounter while driving at night, it doesn't get much creepier than this. Yep, that's a woman in a full wedding gown, complete with bouquet, spotted in the dead of the night walking down a New Jersey highway. But it wasn't the ghost of a woman jilted at the altar. The ghostly figure was in fact a teenage girl who had escaped from a nearby children's services facility and had chosen what's probably the creepiest escape costume possible. She was eventually picked up by police and escorted home, much to the relief of anyone brave enough for a nighttime drive-along. New Jersey's Route 55. Lives of the roadside. While driving in Oklahoma in 2017, an eagle-eyed bus driver spotted a baby's car seat by the side of the road with a doll in it. Perplexed, he pulled over and was shocked to find the doll was in fact a real baby. Alongside the 3-month-old child was $5,500 in cash and a birth certificate. When police arrived, the baby was taken to a local hospital and found to be perfectly healthy. Eventually, the child's mother was also tracked down and taken to hospital to assess why she'd abandoned her child. The kid, meanwhile, received thousands of adoption offers from families offering to take better care of him. A similar case occurred in Thailand in 2017 when a newborn baby was discovered in an orange bag on the side of the road. He'd only been born a few hours prior, and his umbilical cord was still attached. Likely abandoned by a mother who couldn't afford to take care of him, he was quickly rushed to hospital, where he was thankfully found to be perfectly healthy. But it'll be a hell of a story to tell his kids one day when they ask, "Where were you born, Daddy?" Which of these roadside discoveries shocked you the most? Have you made any bizarre discoveries of your own? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.